What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome to another fantastic edition of Medical Sales Live. As you know, we're going to start the show as we usually do. Drop in the comments what city you're joining in from as we get started. We have a great program we got today. So go ahead and comment what city you're joining in from and slam that emoji button. Help me out here. All right. We got the good old whiteboard up. Let's see who we got. We got Ahmed Hamed from Houston, Brad Powell from Anderson, South Carolina. We got Joseph Galata from Chicago. Welcome, Joseph. Welcome. And of course, we're going to do a sound check. Looks like the sound's working. Everyone's good. Fantastic. Welcome. So great to see you all. We got a nice one today, and it can be a little bit shorter. Well, I always say that. I always try and keep these short, but sometimes the comment section is just blowing up and I can't help it. Spend some more time answering some questions. So there we go. So now let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. So today's topic is how to create a sales messaging funnel for surgeons. But if you're a salesperson, this is really creating a sales messaging funnel, period. And actually, let me just change that. That converts for more meetings. There we go. So now for those of you who are joining, and let me find my thing here. All right. Okay. So for those who are joining, if you're trying to improve your LinkedIn, I'm trying to raise money for Turkey. For those of you who don't know, I am actually Turkish. And so if you go to, and you have to type this in, www, that's very important, www.upgrademylinkedin.com, and use code HELPTurkey, right? Let me just make sure that that's working. Yep, it is. So use code HELPTurkey. You can get my LinkedIn mini course. Usually that's $300. Using that code, it's only $47. It's the cheapest I ever had it, just to make it easier for people to donate. 100% of all the revenue I make from this mini course using that code is going to go to Turkey. I think we've raised, close to $1,000, which is great. I'm going to add some money myself. But again, if you've gotten any value out of this program, you like me, you think I'm entertaining, do me a favor. $47 is like nothing. Go buy that mini course. If you don't want it, just buy it, gift it to somebody, whatever you want to do. It would really mean a lot to me. So now let's get into the show. All right. So how to create a sales messaging funnel that converts for more meetings. Okay. What I'm going to show you here, okay, is important to understand not only from a sales standpoint, but even a marketing standpoint. And this is actually prompted because I saw a company today that I know who came up with an absolute garbage webinar. I don't know how else to describe it. From the email that got sent out, the title of the webinar, everything about it was just pretty much set up to fail, in my opinion. And I feel bad for their sales team because their sales team is not going to get any good leads from that. I hope I'm wrong, but even if they do get good leads, it could have been just so much better. So let me push this back. So here's the way you got to think about your sales strategy. Okay. And this is sort of a high level one. So, for the people who are reps, you can get a lot of insight from this. So let's get right into it. So if you see here, this is obviously a funnel. Okay. Many of you have seen this, but what you have not seen is this right side and this left side, which over here we can call this the levels of awareness, which is a psychological, framework. And then here, the message theme, which is a messaging framework. Okay. Everybody with me so far? And by the way, while you're watching, if you're enjoying the show, I see a lot of people joining. Hit that emoji button. Go ahead and leave a comment. I appreciate it. The place that salespeople screw up and marketing is that everything is focused right here. Okay. The product and buy, your emails, your marketing materials, everything. Right. And no wonder you don't convert meetings, because if all you do is focus on, hey, here's a product to solve your problem, not, some people are like, hey, you know what? The product that I use right now, I'm happy with it. Zero interest. The key to hitting quota, to driving more pipeline and everything is, how do you pack more pipeline? By going farther up funnel. Okay. And so let's start up here with the top. Okay. This level where all you're doing is, how do I get attention? You get attention on all these things. The one thing you got to realize is that if you don't have attention, you cannot persuade. Okay. But this level here, which is attention, this is your most unaware audience. So let's say it's surgeons. These are surgeons who have no idea about you, your company, your product. They don't even know they have a problem. So as a result, your messaging needs to be indirect, meaning if your goal is, how do I get attention and get somebody to book a meeting with me? Your messaging up here is indirect, meaning it has nothing to do with your product. So whether that's an email you send, a social media post, right? This is just to get anybody and everybody's attention, right? Just let them know you exist. Say this is a surgeon, right? That you connected with, just to get their attention. You send them an email, not about, hey, I need time, for a meeting. Send them an email that would be surprising to them. Because the more you're able to surprise your end user and do something that's different, guess what? You've now productized yourself and differentiate yourself, and you're going to stand out, and then they're going to pay more attention to you. How do you do that? And again, here's a free giveaway. If somebody comments in the comment section, their end customer that they're trying to sell to, I will use that as an example. It's like free consulting. So whoever is the first one to comment in the comment section with their customer type, I will use you as an example. Okay. It's a pretty good giveaway. Okay. We'll see if somebody takes me up on that. And I think, there's always a delay on these things. So, okay. So let's see. And you need a comment. I don't want direct messages. I got like 4 direct messages right now. I'm not reading any of those. I just saw them pop up on my screen. You got to comment. Okay. Boom. Brad Powell from Anderson, South Carolina, with orthopedic surgeons. Perfect. And what a good example, because I'm going to be at AAOS next week. Okay. So if we use an orthopedic surgeon, right? So Brad, you're trying to reach an orthopedic surgeon. Okay. To start at this level, you find that surgeon. What I would do is go, check Google Scholar. What were the last 3 or 4 publications they had? Go check their practice website. What are they focused on doing? How do they position themselves or brand themselves? Go look them up on every social media channel, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Like, what kind of content are they putting out? And then between that, and let's say you're lucky enough to know some reps that work with them, or a nurse or something, try and figure out, like, what are their interests? Just try and psychologically profile them. Then based on that, right? So you send them an email, okay? And say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, my name's Brad Powell. Really enjoyed reading. I don't know. I checked out your website, or I checked out this and everything. By the way, I wanted to share this article. I wanted to share this video. I wanted to share whatever the heck it is, unrelated to your product, right? To get their attention. So I'll give you a great example. Corey Calendine. Corey Calendine is a really well-known orthopedic surgeon. You want to know a great way to get his attention? And he didn't tell me this. I can just tell. He creates a lot of content, right? A lot of video content. I would go and get an article on, I don't know, the latest on the Instagram algorithm, whatever it is, and say, hey, Dr. Calendine, I really love your content on Instagram. By the way, I don't know if you saw this report. There's a new report or new article on the Instagram algorithm, which, by the way, there's thousands of them, right? Just wanted to share this with you. Even if he does not read that article, even if he just forwards that to somebody, you have now stood out in his mind and got his attention about something that's interesting to him, okay? Now, the next level, again, we're going from indirect to direct. And there's a combination here of message and email as well as social media, and of course, fashionably late as always, the infamous, the great, mythological Mad Device Rep, aka Chad, coming in from Tonopah, Nevada. I don't know where the hell that is. Chad, it seems like you're moving around the country quite a lot these days. Always a pleasure for you to join. If you don't know who the Mad Device Rep is, are you really in medical sales? That's the question today. If you don't know who the Mad Device Rep is, are you really in medical sales? If you don't, that's okay. Go give him a follow or her a follow. We don't know on not only LinkedIn but go on Instagram and treat yourself to a buffet of medical sales humor. All right. Next, let's get to the problem level. Okay. The problem level has nothing to do with your product. I don't know how many freaking times I have to explain this to you guys. Nothing to do with your product. So let's say, again, this is where it's smart to connect with, let's say you use Corey Calendine as an example, right? Lior says it's very interesting. This is very interesting. You're not going to find this anywhere else on the internet. I'll tell you that. Okay. Let's say you're trying to get the attention of Corey Calendine. So connect with your surgeon on LinkedIn, especially if they're orthopedic. I promise you they're going to be active on LinkedIn. I'm releasing more reports on this. Physician activity is going up month over month on LinkedIn. So the problem literally focuses on the problem. So if your problem is about efficacy with, let's say, arthroscopic knee surgery, you don't talk about the problem. You try and highlight and educate her on the problem. This is one of the most important areas. Meaning, why is this important? This is where a category is designed. Why is that important? Most of these sales reps don't have to worry about that. But if you learn this, you'll make more money. I promise you. You'll find a way to earn more money. When you find a way to create a category, right? You obviously, like when we say, hey, I need my nose is stuffy. We don't say I need a tissue. Most people just say I need Kleenex. Kleenex is a product, but Kleenex made its own category, which is tissues, right? So if you find a way to own this problem and create a new category, right? Then you differentiate yourself. So let's just say it's arthroscopic knee surgery. You can't create a new category out of that. But if you find a way as a sales rep to name this problem, educate around it, claim it, so on and so forth, right? Then you will separate yourself. And by the way, most sales reps, they say, oh, why, I'm not going to educate a surgeon about this problem. Doesn't matter. This is a show. So part of this is when you post things on social media, right? You're trying to educate, let's say, the public or other reps and everything, but you're trying to also posture yourself in front of these surgeons to show that you know about this problem. So how do you relate this problem to them, at least in the email form? Try and go to Google Alerts, turn on Google Alerts for this problem, like arthroscopic knee surgery. And then what you're going to do is anytime there's a new publication about this, you send it to the doctor. Send an email, hey, Dr. So-and-so, hope you're having a good day. I know you're interested in arthroscopic knee surgery. Here, this new article just came out, this new thing. I just wanted to share with you. You want to make it even better, use Vidyard or use a video sales letter software, okay? And shoot a video of yourself for 1 minute. Be like, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I want to share this article. I thought it was really interesting, but just to make it easier, here are like the 3 key takeaways. So now you're saying those 3 key takeaways in the video. Take those 3 key takeaways, plug it into the actual email. All that matters is that they're just getting value from you, okay? Now let's go to the solution. Again, we're going from unaware to the most aware, indirect to direct. And in terms of level of awareness, this is level of awareness to you and your company, okay? When we get to solution, again, we're not talking about product. We're talking about the approach, okay? Here, let's look at this from a pain standpoint. Attention, my head hurts. My head hurts. Problem. Oh, I have a headache. Man, I have a headache. Solution. There's inflammatory markers that have come up that are causing this headache. I'm dehydrated, everything, blah, blah, blah. Solution. You need to find a way. You need an anti-inflammatory to take care of that headache, and you need hydration. Do you see how I've not mentioned a product yet? Okay. So now you start educating about the solution. A lot of times when you're dealing with both problem solution, you can simultaneously educate on this. Okay. And again, social media and through email. Okay. So you're connected with all these doctors, you're adding to your network, you're growing it, you're posting this content on social media, and then you're also finding ways to send this to them via email. Okay. Now, finally, you can get to a point where it's a product, because now if you've done this correctly, you've gotten their attention, you've kind of provided some value, etc. Right? You've developed some kind of a relationship. Even if they have not replied to you, all you know is that as long as they're getting your emails and you know they're opening them, right? Then they're getting value from you. So at some point when you try and go for a meeting, they might just take the meeting with you because you're an interesting person. You've provided this value. They've gotten to know you over this like period of, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, etc. They'll just take it because of that. And guess what? Who cares? If that's the reason, who cares? Who cares why they took the meeting? The point is you've gotten to a point of increasing those conversions. And when you do this at scale, right, over and over and over again, using the power of social media and LinkedIn, and then using personalized emails, this puts you in a position to be successful. Now, let me do a public service announcement for the most low yield, worthless salesperson probably watching this, which is they're going to say, oh, but Omar, it's going to take so much time for me to do this. Oh, this takes a lot of work. You're right. It does take a lot of work. But you know what also takes a lot of work? Sending garbage mass emails for weeks on end, screwing up your market, and then going to your company's sales meeting and putting up deals on the board where you're not even reporting on data. You're just reporting the news like, oh yeah, I sent X amount of emails to this person. I really feel that we're going to get them into the pipeline next week. Like, how many of you guys have done that? This is hard. Most salespeople, there's 1% of salespeople that even do a tiny fraction of this. Okay. The free money on the table for medical salespeople is that just look, for anybody who's watching this, you just got into the 1% without doing anything, just by understanding this. You stay in the 1% by taking action on these things. Okay. I'm amazed by some of the salespeople in the online course world. There's a group that I'm a part of, and one of the salespeople who works for the main guy, he closed a deal last week for they're a marketing agency. He closed a deal, and I asked him, like, man, how long were you working that deal? He's like, 2 years. I was like, what? And when, just for context, the contract value I think is like $60,000 or $70,000. So it's not like millions of dollars. He was working one deal for 2 years. And I was like, what do you mean you were working for 2 years? He's like, dude, every week or every other week, I would make sure to send this agency owner an email. Either it would be an article or something of value that they would find valuable, either something we produced or I would find on the internet. And then every other week, I'd send them a case study result and everything. And they ended up closing because they were just so impressed with his follow-up. They wanted to work with him. And on top of it, it stayed in front of them. So a lot of times when it comes to your end user, the customer that you're trying to convert, you're waiting. Everything you buy, pay attention to the things you buy. Most of the things you buy, if you dig below the surface psychologically, it's because of a pain or a fear that you have. Right? Everything, literally everything. It's very rare that even when people buy something to gain, like because they want to gain something, it's usually underlying is fear, right? And so this follow-up process, you might just spend most of your time here, which is like you're sending them emails, you're trying to provide value and everything, and but you're waiting for that one day. Let's say you're selling a commoditized product, okay? So commoditized products, that's really hard, right? It's like hey, I know you use this implant. I want you to use this implant. But like that, like it's really hard to convert something. What you need to do is make sure that you show up top of mind that one day that the surgeon, either the rep isn't there or the rep screwed up or they're just pissed off or they have a problem and they're like, screw it, I'm going to use this person. And they're not going to have that thought just because they're upset and your company happens to be floating around. They need to assign a face to a solution. You guys see what I'm getting at? They need to assign a face to the solution. And if you have for weeks or months or even years been staying in front of them via email, and again, this is why I think social media is powerful. If you just do this via email, that's a lot of work. I'll admit that. Okay. I sell, my organization, I have a sales guy. I still sell, right? But that's where social media is helpful, because while I am sleeping, people are engaging with my content and pushing my face in front of you, all of you, right? Now, I have a full company, a business, just through my program. Okay. How many of you have seen me talk about that program? Many of you don't even know the name of it. Why? That's not important, because I do a good job up here. I'm very good at getting your attention. I'm damn good about talking about the problem, which is how to sell remotely and virtually at scale. When I do this well, look, some of you guys are going to be in so much pain with this problem. You're going to automatically come down to the solution, which is part of what this program is, these live calls. And eventually you're going to convert. That's why I tell, I see somebody, I think on Twitter or YouTube who just commented. That's why every single person I talk to, I'm like, hey, if you don't join, if you don't qualify for this program, or you don't join today, that's so okay. You're going to join in the future, right? It's only a matter of time. Okay. And so as a salesperson, in 2023, whether you are in medical sales or software sales, because I talk to a lot of people on the software side too, the more you're able to think and act like a marketing person, okay, the better off you're going to be. And the best part about that, boys and girls, you don't have to worry about your crap marketing team. Because let's face it, 99% of you, hate to say it, your marketing teams suck. They're product managers who do marketing as a hobby. Next week when I go to AAOS, I'm going to meet a lot of product managers who for that weekend are doing marketing as a hobby. Did I lose some viewers? Did I piss some people off saying that? Absolutely. But you know what? It's the truth. Chad device, Chad saying, love it. Work smarter and hard. Yeah, that's 100%. My friends, ain't no money in easy things anymore. There really isn't. And so what I would say is, and here's the best part. Will this be difficult to do? Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I forgot to put up my other banner. Let me put up my other banner, because we need to do our second show. If you have a deal, so if you're in medical sales and you have a deal that you want expert advice on, you want to be part of the show, it'll be anonymous. Go to dealrip.com. Look, forget about my pitch. Just go to dealrip.com. Submit your deal. If your deal is good enough, it'll make the show. All right. I'm currently assessing which capital sales leaders I bring on. It doesn't have to be capital. That's just, coincidentally what ends up being happening. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that when you get very good at this section, right? So let's go back to Brad. Brad, let's pretend that you do what I tell you to do here, because you're a smart guy, you take initiative, and you look like it, right? You offered your thing. And let's say it doesn't work out with your company for whatever reason. Medical sales, you can be the best in the world, but a lot of times the market conditions aren't there. There's a lot of things that go into closing deals. Maybe you decide to leave. This whole thing that you built, those relationships you built, the connections you have on LinkedIn, everything, those go with you. They don't stay with your company. That's the best part, my friend. That is literally the best part. And for me, one of the reasons why I was able to be successful growing pipeline as a marketing guy, right? As a marketing guy, is because I got really good at this. And so over time, anytime I would go to a new company, it's like, oh, we sell to orthopedic surgeons. Great. I'm going to do some posts on LinkedIn. I'm going to do some outreach, and surgeons will take my call, take my meeting. Why? Because I got really good at this part. For those of you who follow me, okay, many of you know I did a book show. I'm bringing it back now. I did a book show every week for 3 years. I just did a little video of me reviewing a book. People made fun of that. A lot of people made fun of it. They're like, oh, like, what does this have to do with your business? Guess what? I dominated the living hell out of this part. And all those physicians, when they were not aware of my product, they had an interest to learn. So they ended up learning from those book shows. And then when I got to this area, they just converted. They converted to meetings a lot easier. My hit rate was pretty high. By hit rate, I mean like I send a message. Do they convert into a meeting? So while most salespeople, they're sending, 5, 10, 15, 20 messages, all the same message. Oh, can you take a meeting with me? My hit rate was high enough where I would be able to do that in 1 or 2 messages. All right, not all the time, but that's what happens when you get effective at this. All right, let's take a break. Let's see, what questions do we have from the audience? So now I've covered my topic. Let's see what questions you all have. Today's quiet, by the way. I see a lot of people on the feed. But a lot of you are just here to watch the show, which is totally cool. I'm an entertaining guy. All right. So let's see. All right. So just in summary, the main thing that I want you all to think about, like what's the key takeaway from this? The key takeaway is ask yourself, what level of awareness is the surgeon when it comes to my company and my product? Okay. And yourself, you're part of that product, by the way. What level of awareness are they? Do your best to figure that out. Okay. And then from there, that's going to help you dictate, like, what do you do? And let's assume that you have a surgeon who, and this is the problem. Okay. This is the other mistake medical salespeople make. Let's say you have a surgeon who's down here. Like they went to your booth. They knew that you got demoed and everything. You should still go through this process, right? You need to develop some kind of relationship based on value and not being a royal pain in the butt, right? It's where most salespeople, you all love living around here. And you know what? When you have really, really good marketing, you can live around here. But at that point, and this is going to hurt a lot of you, but again, this is a business show. I'm here to give you guys a like business advice and sales advice, not therapy. If you live here where all you do is just like product demos and like, managing a deal to close, you're not really a salesperson. You're a cashier at this point, in my opinion. Real salespeople know how to do all of this. Real salespeople know how to get your attention. They know how to educate you about the problem, educate you about the solution, right? Channel that desire, persuade you as to why the product is worth adopting, and get people to buy. Right? Some of you saw my post earlier this week about the biggest loser statement I have ever seen. If you want to watch that video, just go on my LinkedIn feed. You'll find it. The biggest loser statement I hear from a salesperson is, oh, the hospital doesn't have money. Hey, you know what? That might be true. But you know what? Never in the history of any hospital ever on planet Earth was there a time where they say, yeah, we got money. What do you have? Never going to happen. They never, the question isn't, does the hospital have money? The question is, does the hospital have money for me? Right? Cody Tanner, what's going on, man? You're coming in at the end of the show, buddy, but that's okay. So again, think about this funnel, educate yourself. Look, this show is recorded for free on YouTube. Go to the State of MedTech. You can find these old shows. Instead of listening to garbage music on the way home, Lil Yachty, ain't nothing wrong with Lil Yachty. 2 Chainz, whatever you might listen to. Maybe a Led Zeppelin guy. Put something educational on. Put this on. Listen to my sweet, soothing, sultry voice and think about this, right? Too many of you are literally doing the exact same outdated garbage approach that you've been doing for your entire career. Hey, if I just show up enough times to the hospital, if I just break into the hospital, if I corner the surgeon at the scrub sink, do a little song and dance, hey, maybe I bring them a muffin, right? I can get them to use my product. Ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work, right? We live in a really competitive time when it comes to sales. That includes me, So for me to sell to you guys, I can't just go and imagine, like, for the people, many of you are new to me. Maybe, some of you are not in my program, but for the people who join my medical sales program, If all I did was just message people, hey, do you want to learn about this program? You want to learn about this program? Like, I wouldn't even have a business today because of how competitive the market is for everything. I have to be more sophisticated about it, right? I got to find ways to get your attention. I got to earn your trust by showing I'm an expert about this problem, right? And some of you will say, well, but Omar, that's easy for you. It's medical safety everything. I have to sell to a surgeon. I'm not going to be an expert about this problem. You already failed. As a medical salesperson, whatever, I don't give a damn how many SKUs of product you have. The better, if your thing is I sell to spine surgeons, you better find a way to study as much as possible. Like publications that come out, know your product guides, all these things. You need to be at the point where when you walk into the hospital, you're in the OR, you're literally looked at by nurses and staff almost the same as a physician. That's your goal. That's very achievable. It's based on your ability to educate yourself as much as possible about your problem, the solution, and of course, the product. Look, any chimpanzee buffoon can learn about the product and like service an account. Don't be surprised when that's all you do and then you get laid off. You start doing this stuff, right? You're irreplaceable. And layoffs happen all the time to people. When you're good at this, all you got to do is open your LinkedIn inbox and you'll find plenty of opportunities for you, right? So that's it. That's my rant for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. And again, think about this. Now, in wrapping up, let me put one more banner. So if you're going to AAOS next week, this guy's going to be there. Not that I have to be, but you know, one of the things that you will realize early in any startup is that sometimes you have to do things that are not scalable, which means meeting your customers in person, because it may be the only time in your company history that you have time to do that. So I'm going to be at AAOS next week. I'm really looking forward to it. If you're going to be there, shoot me a DM. Love to swing by your booth and meet up with you guys, whoever you might be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that's it for today. And again, lastly, if you got any value from this program, please do me a favor. I'm Turkish. I'm trying to raise money for the families who are in Turkey. Go to www.upgrademylinkedin.com. Use code HELPTurkey and get my mini course. It's only $47. 100% of that goes to charity. If you don't want to do that, if you want to just Venmo me money, like I'm okay doing that too. Just shoot me a DM. But again, I'm trying to raise money. I think we're getting close to $1,000. I'm going to add to that myself, obviously. But again, if you've gotten any value out of this, even if you're, let's say, a student in my course or you already have that mini course, buy it again, gift it to somebody, you know. But any of that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. That's it for today. Have fun. And for those of you who are in the orthopedic world, I'll see you at AAOS next week. Bye for now.